go ahead and start. Got quorum. Don't want to figure out that time. Okay. We have a quorum, so we'll go ahead and start the meeting. We have an agenda. We get somebody to make a motion. The official agenda. And so moved. Second? All second. Dick seconds. All in favor? Aye. That carries unanimously. Okay, approval of the May meeting minutes. Can I get a motion? Diane motion? And I'll second that. I'll let you go. And Dick seconds it. All those in favor?
Aye.
That carries unanimously. All right. Committee chair, introduction of guests.
I'm Jeff Carter, back again.
Back again, Jeff. Welcome.
As of tomorrow, I'm getting another shoulder filling.
Okay. Well, welcome. And we have Tina and Jim and Liddell as normal attendees, normal attendees, however you want to look at it. All right. Committee chair report, Anita.
Well, I think since I'm not there, we have a lot of things. I'll just jump in as I need to during the agenda. I think Tina's got some things from the board that she will announce, and so I'll just let it sit.
Okay. With that, we'll go to IT position update. Yeah.
Sure. Oh, sorry, I just sent this a half an hour ago. And over our dashboard. So sync is moving right along. I think fairly smooth, right? Docs and data, we got our report from Y2K. Initially, early ground view to do that. Phones project, push that back a little bit as we get the new IT leader on board. So, targeting end of the month for that. Oakwood Poolgate software, starting the process of looking at some vendors with one in mind. With the used, but we're just going through the process. HOA software, county ARP, same thing. And waiting on getting that roll through. And the maintenance yard cameras I added, also kind of identifying the vendor on that, all the other.
I got
all those files.
I got the list. I got the invite today. So thank you.
Feel free to look over all that.
Yeah. So you mentioned cameras at facilities.
Yeah, facility there.
So you're going to put some cameras in before we remodel, or is that just part of the remodel?
Will be part of towards the end of the month.
Okay. Yeah, because we had identified originally in the plans anyway some of the cameras. So I don't know how many. You remember how many, Anita? I don't really remember.
I don't have it in front of me, no. But we did put some in there. In terms of the vendor, we had kind of identified, and that, of course it can change, but we're trying to standardize so we have one set of cameras everywhere rather than having two or three different. So we would hope that whatever we do, we could deal with, help me with the camera.
Rhombus? Is it Rhombus?
Rhombus, yeah. So we hope that we could continue using them. We did quite an extensive search when we did the gates originally, and they came out to be the best and all the way around with the RFP. So hopefully we can utilize them and keep some standardization going in our hardware and software.
Makes sense. Thank you.
Anything else?
That's it.
That's it. All right. And the IT position, you said towards the end of the month?
Yeah, it goes into the month. Just looking through the interviews, so that's some good.
Good. Yeah.
That's great. Great to hear.
Good news.
Yeah, that's good.
HOA software project, Linnell. Tops retirement. Scheduled for July 20th?
Yes,
Is that an accurate date? Cool.
we don't use it. It's just, we had given 3 months notice for termination. And I didn't want to do that until I was sure that.
Now, as part of that, does that mean we turn it off on the server? Do we delete it off the server? Do we leave it on the server? Or is it our
It's
data
not,
set?
yeah, it's not on the server. Everything within TOPS is, yes. We have it kind of duplicated in our G drive as well as in Sync. So all data that is in TOPS is in Sync.
So, and even after TOPS goes away, any of the data that was up there in the cloud, we've already duplicated it down with the G drive, is what you're saying, right? And we've got it already pretty much duplicated in Sync in terms of,
All the documents we have in G drive, anything that's in TOPS is already outdated. Like, everything's in Sync.
it's up updating that a while ago.
And can I ask a question? And what cost savings should we realize? And is it prorated or what's happening with that?
Are you asking if Sync is
No.
saving us?
No, for TOPS, now that we're not going to have it anymore.
Oh, yeah, it's, okay. It's, quarterly, like $1,500 a month. It was less expensive than Sync. So, and yeah, we duplicated it for about 3 weeks.
I'm sorry that the audio's not really great, so you're gonna have to say that again?
So we were duplicating systems for about 3 months, which is
About $1,500, because I think it was $1,500 quarterly for TOPS.
Okay. Thank you.
So now that it's about $6 saved.
Jim and Linnell are pretty far from the microphone, so it's kind of hard to hear. So,
Can you hear me now?
oh, that's much better, much better. Thank you.
My guess is, Anita, it probably also has to do with the fact that we have the fans on because this room is really hot. So there's probably noise of the fans going around.
Yeah, but no, that helped a lot. Whatever Linnell just did, she moved the microphone, I think. But
Yeah, put it right. All right.
I was listening really hard.
Okay, this is the integration.
So the NDA has been signed by Innova for the integration with Kisi, and that has been sent over to Sync. So I have a call with Sync tomorrow, so we'll learn next steps. But yes, it will be like a single sign-on. And then when the data is updated in Sync, it will get updated in Kisi. So, yeah.
Perfect. Great.
You'll find out tomorrow, like the target date from them would be interesting to hear so that we can appreciate it. All right. Total Essentials integration, manual database maintenance, that's gonna be ongoing. We had an item out there last month that we talked briefly about where we were talking about possibly hiring somebody to do an integration, and basically the decision was made to table that, take it off the plate. So in the meantime, you just do a entering over in community services between, no?
So yes and no. So accounting is updating Club Essentials when there's the transfer of a home. Because we in community services don't use Club Essentials at all. But it is for things that accounting uses, such as like chips and things like that. Those that I don't know about, that accounting is tracking. So that's the only thing that we're really using it for, but it does have to be updated.
Yeah, so that's accounting that's doing that up there. I misunderstood. I thought originally it was community services that was doing that.
No, we don't, yeah.
Okay. All right. Any other questions on Club Essentials in the year? Did you have anything else on the integration or anything? Okay, so we're not going to pursue doing the integration in terms of somebody programming. It's just going to be manual. All right, Sync phase 1 completion. We're now permit module.
So that is because we understand that they could not customize the permit process to the extent we wanted it to be customized. So we decided not to release that component of Sync. However, they're updating their software so that it will be completely customizable with their AI feature. So their AI feature will scan the submission, compare it to our governing documents, including the guidelines and the rules and all these things. And if there's anything not in line, it won't be accepted. So I don't know that date that they're releasing it to their customers in phases. They're not telling me when our phase is, other than before the end of the year.
And help me understand for sure, I think this is called Sync Connect, is that right? Okay, that's the additional, that's the change in their software, so it'll be going from web access to Connect, is the new product that they have essentially.
Yes.
Workload model.
We're using that if you have submitted a comment card that is more of a work order, you'll see that Michelle says, hey, use this feature.
Oh, really?
Staff receives the work order, assigns it, and updates as needed. The notes can be viewed from the homeowner portal. So if something gets closed, we'll tell you why it got closed under details.
Right. And I personally, I've used it quite a few times, and my feeling is it's a really good tool that we can use for the homeowners, especially. They can submit something, and I've had really quick turnaround on the things that I've submitted. I mean, I've submitted it one day, and then like 3 days later, it's taken care of. It's gone.
The same experience.
And, yeah, I think that's something from my perspective. I think with the board to talk about that in terms of the community using that more would be a good thing, because it's a win for us.
And yeah, additionally, it's more convenient because you can upload pictures, which you can't do in comment cards.
Right.
So
Is there a way on their website to possibly have, where you have the link to the comments, or sorry, to also have the link for the work orders?
they have to log into their account.
Yeah, so can't they just seem to log them in, or,
Well, you could prompt them, you could make a comment on it by the website to go to click on this link to take you over to Sync. So I mean, that would be one thing.
hey, Michelle, a little bit about how many you're getting, how she's getting there. Not
She is, when we are responding to the comment cards that is work order related, she is providing the link and letting people know that a more efficient way to do this would be just to go through this link and sign up for the tool.
Yeah.
So we are reminding people when we submit it to a
But
comment.
that's an extra step for her to pretty much that, that's all I was thinking, same person, but
But if you're not signed up, it's going to not do anything for you anyway, right? It's going to take you to the site.
Yeah, and then you can click register and then start that.
So I have two options there, either log in or register. So, I mean, it might be a good thing to talk to Michelle about, to see if she wants to put an everything on the page, on the website, on the Club Essentials website.
There it is.
I'm just talking a second one right where the comment card is. That's what.
oh, I see.
Yeah.
That's closer together, so people, we have to train people, right? And once they have a habit, it won't change unless they see the change right there.
Yeah, I'd have everybody done that.
I should say.
I would just be careful putting it right next to the comment cards. I definitely would call it out as to what it is.
Yeah.
Because you don't want people going into the work order system and putting in comments now too, right?
We'll get there, but it is successful so far, which is good.
Good, so you guys are not having, so is it more streamlined now? Because before you were having to kind of, you kept thinking about some manual processing. Okay, so the manual processing has now been lessened, yeah. Okay.
I just have one comment on Sync, finishing it up for completion of phase 1, is that technically, since it's still in implementation until it's final, everything that we're expecting is released. There are two things, and I think I sent a email about this, is that I think it might be a good idea if several of us just got in the room together so that we're all on the same page as what actually is being finished and what we're expecting, so that we're all on the same page. And then since it is an implementation still, probably when those conversations are having directly with Sync, as before, probably we had or we did, according to the technology project process, we had 2 technology folks on those calls, just so that they were aware and could ask the questions right as you're talking to Sync. So I think that we should start doing that again and having the folks just start participating in that, if that works with everybody, since it is still an implementation.
Yeah, I think we have that, Anita. I think that's additionally listed here, and it's from Michelle meeting. There's a Sync roadmap that's talked about on the pages there, so we've got yeah. But document management and storage. I have a question about that. I guess I'm concerned a little bit. We talk about moving forward with the AI feature and being able to have it move some of our CCNRs and such. I think, I don't know what the topic is or how soon we can getting the rest of the documents up to the Sync website for the governing documents. I mean, if I look at the governing documents that we have on the Essential website and the governing documents on the Sync website, they're not the same yet.
So that is a summer project for us, and Michelle is joining our call tomorrow to go over the details, because if there's anything we can or want to change, we want to do it now before we start uploading.
Right. I agree. And she's going to be part of that meeting tomorrow. Good. Okay. Committee chair dashboard.
That is on hold. That's one of those things I'm not sure it's going to work like we want it to. So we started that and we're kind of scratching our heads like, I'm not sure this is
What
we wanted.
Okay.
It might look more like just document storage, which is not as exciting. Yeah, not what we thought we were. Yeah, it didn't line up. But more to come. So I'm just pausing on that.
Okay.
Until I can kind of explore it a little more.
All right. Okay. Any other questions or comments on Sync from anybody? No? Okay. And we also, just to clarify, I used to be referring to phase 1A and 1B. We didn't call that phase 1. Just what we've done so far is phase 1. We still have to do is phase 1. It's all phase 1. Sure. To clarify for everybody, I took that off as 1A and B just to help clarify that. All right. Smart property final report by Ellen and Neil. Smart property, let's see.
So Anita and Mike Partridge got together and kind of did the format for the project review document. So taking those questions and answering them. I had previously provided a summary of the implementation of smart property. So I think we're there, Anita, right?
Yep.
Okay.
I think in terms of
Start again. You're breaking up.
okay, I just was going to say, in terms of the going to the board, or does this go to the board? Or it doesn't go to the
It just gets posted as a wrap-up kind of documentation on the website.
Okay, so I think from our perspective, we've got the summary page now, and we're going to take the
So go ahead.
RFP and add that to it, and you went through and did a AI summary of the RFP and go over how those things came. So I think we got 3 documents basically that blend up in the final report. That's my take.
From what I could understand of what you're saying, yes, it sounds right. You're really breaking up, so I'm struggling here. So I did send around the thing to the four of you, who were in the initial meeting about this, that we're recommending that, when Mike and I got together, that we include the project, completion document that we need to do, post-project review, and then we also include the RBA and the responses and the scoring for them to be part of the report, and then also Linnell's summary, as we think those are the three things that would be most useful for anybody else looking at it to see, and it would be good information for us to just document someplace all in one place. So that's a recommendation. Linnell looked at the document that we did this morning, or she checked, sent it this morning. There are only two minor changes. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm sure Mike will go along with those. They were very minor. One was just filling in a financial piece that we didn't have. And so I think they're ready to go. I would suggest that we have not included anybody else, and I would think somebody on finance probably needs to take a look at that, just to make sure that we haven't missed anything or they need to add something to it. And that would be my only recommendation at this point, that we take one quick pass to finance, and then it doesn't have to be the whole committee. It can be whoever, was closest to that project. And then once they sign off, then I think it's ready to go, as far as I'm concerned. And I think Mike's right along with that. We did have that discussion.
So I have a question, I guess, a little bit in terms of posting it on the website. Like we posted the final project status report, summary, that sort of thing. We didn't run them for Poolside. Is this something that we will do for the technology projects as well, to follow that same type of idea in terms of who are the projects that the technology type projects that have been completed, so that anybody wanted to look at it, we'll look at it on the website?
Yes, and so it's not the first one that's made its full, complete through the process, and then it gates, and then also save when we get there, but
Right.
Okay. So I don't know who makes a decision on where that goes, or when we get to that point that it goes up there. Michelle's probably the person who run that every day.
sorry, Anita, once we're good with whatever I added, I can send it to Michelle and have it posted.
Okay, I am good with what you did. My only suggestion is that we make sure somebody from finance signs off on it, because they were actively involved in that as well, from the reserve study side.
So I guess, could you just put together the three different bits that we're talking about and send it to somebody on the finance? I don't know who was involved.
Yeah, I'll have to look at the project team to see who was there from finance.
It might have been Mike. I'm not sure, because I don't know who was on it either. I know he was involved Mike was involved in all the RFP information and all of that. He was on the early part, but he was there on it for us as technology. So he might have been servicing us both.
Okay. So we can kind of call this some done, hopefully, from the technology perspective anyway.
Yeah.
All right. Move on to some general recording that's on for a while. So we give a new tech person in there, which I think is a good idea. Accounting, ERP, POS, Jim.
Yeah, same update. I think we've done a lot of demos, so we're in good shape there. Maybe some further once we get a little bit.
And are we gonna have Blue Star come back and do their I can't remember, Intact and Rapid Source.
Yeah, I think once we get to that point, we'll back to do it. But it may be someone different, maybe it's accounting, like that, comes and gives us that, we'll be probably using it.
Okay, cool. HOA software, Anita, Diane.
Diane's gonna pick this up. We've been working on this.
All right, so there's an attachment here, it has the notes from the meeting that we had with Michelle. And a lot of interesting stuff. What we did was, we came into that meeting with the initial list of requirements for Club Essentials replacement. And validated with her, do we have everything, are listing things? And the one thing that was, well, became clear to me is that I was thinking Club Essentials was just the website. It's not just the website. It's the website and other components. So it's a very interesting discussion, kind of going through all of those items. So there are a couple follow-up meetings that we still need to have because we don't have a clear picture yet of the Club Essentials replacement requirements. And those meetings, one, well, I think you just mentioned you don't use Club Essentials at all, so we may not have to meet with these, so that's good. We want to meet with Ray to find out how she uses it for financial reporting and what modules in Club Essentials she uses. And she's super busy with sync and assessments, so we're trying to be nice and give her time to get through the assessment period. And then the last is Michelle gave us this great map of the website, and there's a third page that has all the admin functions, and we want a demo of the admin functions, but it's not something we can look at ourselves. So we'll work with Michelle on that. But high level requirements in terms of replacing Club Essentials, we obviously need a website with a public and private facing environment. We need a document storage location. There's a ton of documents out there. I don't know if they're just on the website or they're somewhere else. Obviously, sync would be the right place for that. He did bring up texting as an item. It's not currently part of Club Essentials. There's a third-party tool that she uses for that, which has its own database. So again, it may be good to look at Sync or maybe the phone system. Sync would be preferable for texting because we have a homeowner database right there. Calendaring is a big item I will need to find a solution for. Michelle went through the meeting room and event reservations process. It is very manual. Club Essentials does have a module, but it is horrible to use according to Michelle. So we do need, a tool that will allow us to do, meeting room reservations, events, that sort of thing. There's a ton of forms that are being used. Some of them are just email forms. Some of them you fill them up and it magically gets to the right person. Comment cards is a good example of that. So a lot of forms that are being done. Redirects, a lot of redirects to third-party tools, for reservations and the like. Obviously, we'll need interface with the point of sale and ERP systems. Search capability, it'd be great to have a better search capability than we have today. The homeowner profile is already in sync, so we have a solution there. Staff directory, we'll need to figure out where that goes. And let's see, there's tons of links to reports, and I don't know where they sit. I don't know if they're Club Essentials, I don't know where they are. That's why the meeting with May and some other folks will be in here. So starting to get a clear picture, it's still a clear picture, it's still a little muddy. So we'll continue to work through the action items that, have the meetings that we need to have. The goal is to build a as is, what do we have today versus what we'd like to go to, and have that picture show, the new website, sync, texting, whatever the solutions are. Obviously, that would need to be approved by Blue Star and the new tech move, but we're starting to put that all together. And thank you to Anita and Mike, who were in that meeting with Michelle. We got a lot of good information. We still to do, but that's where we are with that.
Anything else, Anita?
Yeah, no, that's good. The other thing that I'm not sure if got mentioned, but it's down there as an action item, is one of the things we will be doing is kind of laying it out so that it's visual, so we can see what we have and what we're going to and what pieces we need to plug in. And so to make sure that we're not losing any functionality out of Club Essentials that we're currently using. And I think that's our biggest fear, is that if there's anything that we're using right now from Club Essentials, it might need to be improved upon. But if it's something that we're using, we want to make sure if we don't replace it, that it's going to be okay, that we don't replace it. And that's not going to be our decision. That's a group decision to make. So we're just trying to get the data together so that we can have that meeting and just say, here's what we think. And, it would be helpful when somebody comes on board to help us out, because that'll be some of the integration issues that we're going to need to deal with, and somebody on board in technology. So we're kind of doing as much as we can up front, and then once we get somebody in and they have time to get their feet wet, we'll pull that person in and make sure that we're all on the same page, and we'll have the meeting with whoever needs to be in the meeting and present what we think, and then we'll go from there for everybody to decide.
And one other comment, I think on the third page of those minutes is a long list of items for sync phase 2. So things to look at, and I know they're not part of this year's deliverables, but when you start having your planning session for what else are we going to be sync for, that would maybe be a good place to start, because all those things team up, and sync does have some of that capability. So we need to look at whether that's the right forward.
Good. I think that just so everybody's on the same page, it's titled items to be added to sync roadmap, just to try and help us make sure that we get them accounted for. Whether sync can do them or not, but we gotta get somebody.
Yes.
Somebody's gotta be able to do it. We figured possibly that sync can do some of it, so that's why we're talking about having to get together to try and finalize some of the steps right now in sync that we're going to be taking care of, and then what will be in the next phase or phase 2. Okay, anything else on that? Okay. Dobson Gate optimization update, Lynette.
So we just received our report that we were waiting for from Y2K. So the the project team will get together and review that together. And then we're getting super close to making a recommendation to the board. But this is an important step in that we wanted to explore all possibilities. I think we all know that guardhouse was kind of voted down. It wasn't, it was going to cause other problems rather than solving the problems that we have there. So we are getting closer. So the project team will meet again. I'm going to get with Ken later and figure out a date to kind of start those meetings back up, and hope to have a recommendation to the board in the next month or 2. Until I meet with the team, can't come down.
Just a curious question on the exit gate north up, and is it still just automatically opening when we approach, or is it taking a device?
The card, because when it got hit, everything got wiped out. And I believe the new card reader is installed, so it's by using the operating system.
Another comment I heard, you might be able to look at the cameras, or you might be able to look at the cameras, is sometimes there's a vehicle that will be sitting off to the side and then come over and actually go through the exit route. I don't know if it's anything we can, as an organization, that can be done against people that do that, especially if it's a commercial vehicle, like landscape vehicle.
We can't do,
Okay.
but the payoff for sitting there watching cameras, it's not great.
Yeah.
So with something that the project team's looking at with the new configuration of North Dobson is we have, what's the word that I was forgetting earlier today? The arms are hydraulic. The arms we have are hydraulic. We want to get magnetized ones that go and only allow one car per move.
Right,
Trade.
good. Okay. Any other questions, comments on adoption? Okay. That's all the old business. How about new business? AV report, Elsie. Wow. Okay.
Good. No problems.
IT report, I think we've already had the IT report, Jim, right?
Same.
Okay. Board liaison report, Keith?
Okay, so, first of all, just letting you all know that the board did approve the 2026 priorities, this is the list that was shared. And that's how we'll be driving and going forward for the remainder of this year and then into beginning of next year, first quarter. And then, of course, you just provide an update on the optimization project, because that was also given also in the meeting. I was kind of just looking really for anything that would impact technology here. And then I think also talked a little bit about the gate operational challenges that we had, I think about a month ago, and just realizing that there's probably some other things that we might need to be looking at as well. And then also there was a discussion about the unit captains, and just once again, I'm sure all fully aware is the email security and future communication process improvements around that to secure our data. And then there were also, let's see here, I think that's all I really wanted to say. I think I want to also talk about this, we approved the strategic roadmap, as I said, and that's really our capital expenditures that we approved last year. And then the board had a meeting, and I've mentioned this before, but I will say again, the board had a meeting in April, and we have a list of items that has been growing for probably about the last 3 to 4 years. We went through that, we prioritized that, we all had an opportunity to put a 1, 2, 3 on them, and then those were weighted averages. We took those and we basically with all the board members, and that's how we came up with the remainder of this list that's in front of you. And so going forward, we will be using this IR strategic roadmap, and it's got the 2026 priorities on it. And these are the things that we will be tracking from the board perspective. There are some that have already been completed. There's a couple that I've shown here as delayed, and we will talk about this in the workshop every month going forward. We have also assigned board liaisons to each and every one of these. So your board liaisons will also be involved, and we'll stay on track of that to know what's going on. There's a couple that are delayed. We'll discuss those actually in the workshop. There are some recommendations that will be discussed in that workshop for those two, and I would assume they will either be put back on track or they're probably going to be closed because we can't really move forward with them. But we'll have those discussions in the meetings this next week or this week. And then basically we've got, you can see we've got capital project, we've got technology projects, we've got amenities, we've got communications, we've got financials, governance, and then of course reserves. So I think what I know you guys have a list of stuff here. And so I just want to make sure that I understand, in fact, what I wrote down here when you're talking about the Hub Essentials and all this great work that's been done. I just want to make sure that I understand where this aligns. I think based on what I'm seeing or hearing is I believe it's going to align with the one project here. It's called New HOA Software, Accounting Activities and POS, etc. And then sync implementation. So I just want to confirm that with you guys. But also on here, we've kind of got timelines. I mean, to me, what I'm kind of thinking, and I'll just say this out loud, but what I'm thinking really, and working with management well on this, is that some of this stuff, obviously, it's going to be more research and kind of planning this year. And then as we get towards, I mean, ideally, we kind of like to have a great idea as we get towards the budget season and all that, which is coming very quickly. We're probably not going to perfectly align, but in the future, we're really hoping that by August, September, we've got a really good idea of what's going to happen in 2027, so we can plan for it. So it's just going to take us a while to kind of catch up with that rigor and cadence, and I think we'll get there, but I really do think that these are going to be the two items that are really important for technology this year.
And what I agree, I mean, I think those are the two that pretty well nailed down what we've been talking about, sync implementation, the things that sync with the rest, and then the POS, ERP, accounting, all of that is the other big piece. And even though it's out here as, you know, it really, I agree, it's gonna be requirements that pretty much get delivered by this next year. And then the following year will be the implementation of it. Because we, again, from a Club Essentials perspective, we want to be off, we want to be able to be off of that software by June of 2028. So that's,
Right.
and that might be something that Kenny might want to mention, make sure the board was in terms of that date, you know, because that's kind of a hard date for all of us anyways, in terms of trying to get rid of that software and have it closed. So.
Right.
Benita?
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to go along that line too, but I think with our work on what Club Essentials offers and all of that now, when we get to the point that we have some information that we all of us feel comfortable with, both management and technology feel comfortable with, that this is what we are recommending that we do, or suggesting what we do. I mean, it may mean that, you know, Club Essentials, parts of Club Essentials stays around longer than June 28th. I mean, we don't know that until we know for sure all of this that needs to be done. So we just don't want to be in a situation where Club Essentials goes away and then we've missed something. So that takes a long time to do. That's why it's still on our agenda, because if we don't have that pretty well nailed down by the end of this year, it'll never go away by June of 28, because it'll take a while to fill all that stuff in. So I think that's a really important one, Tina, for the board to really understand that that's got to be something, or else at some point, we'll continue to pay for 2 or 3 or more, software programs, because we haven't been able to retire Club Essentials appropriately or at the right time.
And that's June, did you say June of 28?
Yes.
June of 28. I've been saying June of 28. As I recall, the contract is up on July of 28, but I've been saying June of 28 just so that we have a little bit of leeway. But I just think we really, this is, we really need to nail it down so that everybody's aware of what we need to do if indeed we want to retire it June of 20 or July of 28.
And I think listening to this, this is really great. And I think this is how we're going to identify our biggest risks and issues.
That's right.
We're kind of diving into this now, and we just didn't have all this information, but I think this is definitely going to be, as we go through them, we're probably going to need to say, okay, where does this need to go? Where's this going to map to? And there might be those things that we're going to go, oh no, where is this going to go? Right. So, and I agree, those are discussions that we need to be having and sharing.
Yeah.
No, I think this is great. You guys have this meeting, and I would just make sure that we keep all of the team that is intact also within these particular projects engaged and understanding what's going on as well.
Yep.
Okay. Anything else, Tina?
No, I think that's all I had.
Very good. Homeowner comments. Jeff?
I was just going to say, Jim or Linnell, either of you have any other comments about the discussion so far?
No.
Okay, good.
When I passed through the North Dawson exit gate yesterday, there was still a paper over the reader saying that the gate is unlocked to anyone. Okay, so I don't know, I haven't been through it this morning. I came out north or south of us today. But that's one thing. Second of all, before QC, I used to use the homeowner's panel to get into that gate if I had a rental car. Was that part of the update, or is it, we could never have that again?
You know, the code, no.
So what do we do? Would they have plans for how we let a guest in?
Well, there's a call box in North Dawson.
Every gate, or something coming in the middle of the night wants to visit you.
Yeah, they have to go through the guest gates and those have call boxes, right, call patrol.
They have to call patrol and then patrol will open the gate for them. Okay.
But doesn't that also still run with call logs, quality, homeowner compressive? So if you're in the listing of the call box, somebody can put your name up and then you can let them in by pushing, was it 9 on your phone?
Yeah, but it has to be set up.
From the call box, the call will come from the patrol.
No, it come from the call box.
Oh, I thought that you said that there's not going to be a call box.
There's a call, I thought you meant the keypad with the code.
No,
I'm sorry.
here, you take somebody's name out of the people too, if you want to.
That's what I'm sorry, I misunderstood. That little code box is gone, but the call box up there.
Okay, and last week I saw that the Dawson visitor gate was open for a couple of days. And then it's closed again today, so.
Yeah, the call box, I don't know what exactly it is. We're still tinkering with that. The call box, it should be open now though.
Okay,
It's been tested. We
so
tested that.
that system is going to stay intact.
So the call box is staying intact, where you can select the name, putting that person's phone number, they can press 9 and let somebody in.
Okay.
Or you as a homeowner, you have Kissy on your phone, you can have a rental car, and you can come in your rental car and open the gate with Kissy. And,
Or when I'm riding with the airport transportation.
right, that's great. And that will always be available. And that's it. I mean, well, your magnetic, you might have some magnetic cards.
This is one of my son comes with it and he has
Those will still
that.
and that's all. That's,
Well, it was not this last summer, I had a lot of air conditioning troubles. And George Brazil used that, late night, entry box a number of times.
and patrol is always available. They can always call patrol and patrol can let them in. I mean, that's a backup that throws out there. I mean,
Okay.
and I think they'll typically put over that, they'll put a sign out that says call patrol at this number. I don't know if you.
My name is Chamber remains one like you have. All that we said there.
The one time I tried to call the patrol, rang and no one answered. And I waited till someone else opened the gate and I said,
How many people do we have? Only one, yeah, so we only have one patrol at a time, so
Yeah.
they could be in the middle of something else or who knows, right?
That's why they.
Yeah, exactly, it's probably a good idea. Well, I mean, it has become very convenient with the Kissy app, for sure, because we don't worry about either, oh shoot, I forgot my fob, I can't get in, you know, that type of thing, so.
Okay. Anything else, Jeff?
No, that's about enough.
Okay. I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I move, we adjourn.
So,
I'll send you.
and a second. Okay. So we're done.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
I get back tonight, so I'll see you this week.